It's certainly been a rough season for spring allergies already. Our pollen counts have been just through the roof for days, and there are a lot of people out there just flat out miserable.
Are you doing okay?
I'm okay.
Yeah, taking your medicine?
Every day.
A lot of people have to do that, yeah.
Every morning.
And there are some other ways that you can stave off allergies. Let's check in with Jeff Maher. He has some of his own suggestions. I'm not so certain those are the ticket to take, but we're listening.
What? You're not sold on my advice?
We'll let the people make their own judgment.
All right, well, how about this? How about just wearing some sunglasses? Because that actually keeps a lot of the airborne allergens out of your eyes, including the pollen. And living in Sacramento, we have to deal with all kinds of things, not just the weeds, but the trees, of course. It can be very difficult living here, but health.com put together a 24-hour guide to fighting allergies. And first off, if you take medication, do it before your symptoms kick in. For the morning hours, raise your blinds, not your windows. If your window's open, just a crack, that tree pollen will come right in. It's okay to run your air conditioning, but make sure that you change the filters before each season to remove pollen, dust, and mold. That's something I didn't do this year and probably made a mistake doing so. If you have an exercise routine that involves outdoor activity, do it in the afternoon when the pollen count is lower. And after that workout, take off your shoes and make sure you shower frequently. That is one thing I've improved on this spring is showering at least twice a day to get that pollen off. Take a breather. As it turns out, stress can aggravate allergic reactions. Yoga apparently helps, and there's food that you can eat as well. Eat one yogurt per day. What yogurt does is it basically lowers the levels of an antibody that produces allergy symptoms, but there are other things that you can eat that can fight off your allergies as well.
The main thing with all these, nuts, apples, fish, tomatoes, and red grapes is because they're very high in antioxidants. They have different types. They have flavonoids, quercetin, different types. It depends on the different thing you're eating. But they have high numbers of omega-3. They have high numbers of antioxidants. The one thing you have to keep in mind, especially with the apples, the grapes, you want to eat the peel. It's not the fruit itself, but the peel that has these substances in it. And so, if you peel an apple, you're not going to get quite the benefit from it. Same thing with grapes. The skin's the important part.
Now, I am no allergist, but here are my personal tips that Dan apparently doesn't support. I avoid bike rides and outdoor jogging on windy days. If I'm having an allergy attack, I stick my head in the freezer for a minute. And I only drink iced coffee, For me, that's a grande caramel frappuccino. There's something about the cold elements that help. And I know that the freezer thing sounds a bit unorthodox, guys, but I used to work in the hotel business, and they have those big walk-in freezers where they store food. And in Colorado, where I was suffering from the worst allergies, I would just walk in there, spend a few minutes, and I would come out a new man, at least for a while. It's something to think about.
Yeah, but you said put your head in the freezer. That was your whole body.
Well, most people don't have access to walk-in freezers, so just go to your refrigerator, open up the freezer portion, and stick it in there for a little bit.
Dr.
And the
Jeff
iced
Maher.
coffee, the iced coffee.
Yeah. Starbucks
iced coffee. It just somehow it does something to the sinuses. It just relieves a lot of what's in there. I know it sounds strange, but that's what works for me.
Okay.
As
Again,
you said, you're not an allergist, and you don't play one on TV.
Journalist
either.
Jeff Maher, not Dr. Jeff Maher. Thank you, Jeff.